Did you know that 91% of plastic waste is not recycled? And since most plastics do not biodegrade in any meaningful sense, all that plastic waste could exist for hundreds or even thousands of years. Recycling is and will be for years to come a common discussion topic of debate in our society. The definition of recycling is to treat or process used or wasted materials so as to make suitable for reuse. Some benefits that result in the action of recycling is that it reduces the amount of waste sent to landfills and incinerators, conserves natural resources such as timber, water, and minerals, and lastly, it simply saves energy. I personally have grown up in a family who has always been great about recycling and believes it's so important to do so. Some memories of mine growing up actually happened to be the many trips my dad and I would make to our local recycling center here in my hometown. Today I'm going to speak about the importance of recycling and how by making a little effort we truly can make a difference in terms of our future. There are several reasons to recycle and likewise to not recycle. The first issue that people across the country and even across the globe struggle with is the fact that there is a huge lack of accessibility in some places more than others. According to HuffPost, the psychology behind why people don't recycle, a survey was done. And out of the 8 answers, it is not accessible or convenient to where I live was the most common answer. Another interesting statistic stated by HuffPost is that about a quarter of Americans do not even have access to curbside recycling. By not having that option, if people want to be active in recycling and participate, that means people have to collect it themselves and find the time in their busy lives to bring it to their local recycling center. The second issue is that many people believe that their portion of recycling does not make a difference, so they question themselves why they even do it. My boyfriend does not recycle, and I simply asked why he chooses not to, and he stated that he doesn't really think it actually gets recycled. Communities and groups should be held accountable for providing the appropriate knowledge and making it apparent that people's actions really do make a difference and it goes a long way. For the communities and cities that do not have services that will pick up your recycling along with your garbage, is it convenient to collect your recycling items and have to bring it somewhere on your own time as your busy life? Yes, absolutely. But I strongly believe that thinking about our future and our kids' future is far more important than a little bit of inconvenience. Also, up until recently, individuals were expected to appropriately separate their recyclable items. For example, separating the items into tin, paper, plastic, cardboard, and glass was even expected to be separated by color. Now, by changing those rules to allowing all your recyclable items to be taken down altogether makes it even easier to do so. From my research, I discovered many examples of how each individual can make a difference. For example, a statistic I discovered while researching that caught my eye and really made me think stated if each person were to reuse a shopping bag for just one trip to the store, we would save 60,000 trees. Can you even begin to imagine how many trees we would save if we all use reusable grocery bags instead every time we made a trip to the store? I felt as though this powerful quote expressed by Theodore Roosevelt was appropriate to share with you. He stated, "I recognize the right and duty of this generation to develop and use the natural resources of our land, but I do not recognize the right to waste them or to rob by wasteful use the generations that come after us." So again, many people tend to use the excuses such as lack of accessibility and believing that their part does not make a difference. Having the mindset of thinking that what you do does not make a difference can be compared to the cliche phrase, out of sight, out of mind kind of attitude. If we all had that same attitude, can you even picture what our earth will look like in, let's say, 20 years? It's always important to remember that change begins with one person. If you were to do some deep researching, you may discover disadvantages to recycling, but I truly believe the fact that we only get one earth trumps all of those disadvantages. This concludes my persuasive speech, and after listening to me speak, I truly hope that I have inspired you in some way or another to choose to recycle and protect the only earth that we are going to get.